and then just supporting obnoxious people.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Rob Shooter's
Hello, everybody. Hello.
We always love it when you walk through the room.
I waltzed in today.
You sort of sashayed into the
That's
room.
the right word, like a peacock.
Like
but I'm here now, so it's a big day. The documentary comes out tomorrow. It's a 6-part documentary. Harry and Meghan are here in New York. In fact, we saw them last night. They were doing a big award show, and they're staying at the Carlisle, very fancy hotel of town. So they're here for a couple of days. And what I'm told is that the palace and William, his brother, are going to start fighting back. So for a very long time, the royals had this policy of just not responding. If you remember, after the Oprah interview, the Queen took 3 days before she responded to that. She liked to take her time. That hasn't worked out so well for the royal family. So I'm told now there's almost like a war room set up, a PR room inside the palace, and they're going to be looking at this documentary, which they've not seen yet. They did not get an advance of this, and they're going to be responding in real time as accusations are made.
I don't know about you, because you are definitely from the motherland. But you know what? I just wonder if any of these people in this family are going to step up and be as dynamic as Queen Elizabeth was. Because I mean, there's no one like her. I don't know.
I loved her too. Yeah, this breaks your heart because you know that this would break her heart if she was still around to see this. She sort of saw it. I think they put on a really united front at her funeral, which was lovely. But this family is fractured. Now, the good news for the palace is that insiders who have seen some of the documentary tell me there's no real explosive smoking gun accusations. It's not positive, but there's not one or two details that are going to blow the roof off this. So I think the royals should be relieved that this is coming out just before Christmas. They can probably move on, although we do have his book in January.
So they basically just kind of talk about how everything made them feel, but it's not as much like details that we didn't know before.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't ever...
Screw it.
Wait, are we going to be... Then we're going to be disappointed. Is this going to be disappointing?
Well, the thing is they're so damn famous that cameras in their living room... I'm such a nosy person. I want to see what's on their coffee table, so I don't even know if I care that much what they say.
I want to go through their refrigerator.
Oh, that's right. You can see everything.
Through their garbage. Get their garbage bag and put it in the car.
So we are going to get an insight into their lives, see them at home. There's some shots of the children, the doggies. So I think it's going to be like a fun thing to watch, but I'm not sure we're going to be walking away with this saying that's the end of the royal family. They'll be okay.
Okay.
All right. Good.
Okay.
What about Good Morning America?
Good Morning America. So, just to bring everybody up to speed, Amy Robach and TJ have been having an affair, and they won't exactly say how long this has been going on. It's a little bit fuzzy, which reminds me of, remember when Brad and Angelina got together and they sort of changed the beginning of that date so they could say they did not get together until Brad had broken up with Jen. So it's a little fuzzy when they got together, but they're definitely together, and already now there is trouble in paradise. Talk about a new relationship and all this pressure on them. They could potentially lose their jobs, and now my sources are telling me that they still are together, but they've just realized, my goodness, this is now a thing, and we'd only been dating a couple of months, and now everybody wants us to be together and married, and they were not living together, so this relationship is now at warp speed, both of which are taking a moment to digest.
Did you see the clip that came back up from when Reese Witherspoon was on the show a few months ago? And she's like, and Amy's like, oh, I could give you some plot lines from things around here. And Reese was like, oh, email me, call me. It was crazy.
All she has to do is listen to Rob Shooter. She'll get the plot lines. Here's the thing. There's another story going on here, and maybe it's because we're on at the same time Good Morning America is on. I don't even know who these people are. I really couldn't. I couldn't
didn't either. Now I do.
Is they don't know who we are. Same thing, probably, right?
They're on the same time.
But, you know, people have affairs. People cheat on spouses. Why is this becoming such a massive story? I'm hearing is because working at ABC and Good Morning America, that's a very clean, buttoned-down organization. If they don't like any scandal over there, at all.
Well, they like to pretend that they're a clean, button-down organisation, but clearly they are not. They're just as sloppy as the rest of us. So there's lots of stuff going on now that's coming out about ABC, including, and this is where it gets really problematic, there are now allegations that TJ might have dated other people on staff at ABC, and I think that's why they were taken off air. Because if you remember, after the affair broke, after the news broke, they were back on TV. Everybody watched. I couldn't wait on Thursday and Friday to see the two of them together on TV, and then over the weekend, ABC suddenly pulled them off, and I think it's because there's more to this story.
Because they got better ratings, they said.
They went through the roof.
Yeah.
Everybody tuned in. I've not watched Good Morning America in years, and I couldn't wait to watch it with these two. But now they're off. I think more's going to come forward. Interestingly, too, she's hired a crisis PR, but he hasn't.
Oh, you know what? How do you hire one of those? I think we need one.
We should get one, shouldn't we? Who should we get?
We should get you. Can we put you on retainer?
I know, then I'd tell all your secrets. I'd be the worst possible at it. But I think the reason this story's so big, even though they're not, superstars, this isn't Kelly Ripa, this isn't Michael Strahan, I think people know what it's like to be in an office and have a romance, or maybe, dare I say, an affair. So this is very relatable for people, and I think that's why this story keeps exploding.
It's relatable to several people in this room.
We all looked at Nate.
All right, so where did we leave off? Talking about Good Morning. Oh, it's the Rob Shooter theme song. Hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Listen to the words of Barry Manilow.
Scandal and vice, or sugar and spice. It's naughty but nice with Rob.
There you go. From the people who brought you Copacabana, ladies and gentlemen, the Rob Shooter theme.
I like restaurants to play it when I walk in.
I'm sure you do. And when you leave. Hey, all right, so let's move on. Can we get into the Real Housewives? Can we get Diamond in here? Diamond, come here.
He's here. I'm here. I'm ready.
We're already
Diamond.
gossiping about favourite housewives.
I know.
Diamond's favourite is Nene Leakes, her
Always.
favourite of all time.
I love her, too.
She's great, isn't she? Well, unfortunately, that might all be changing. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're sitting down because they are now filming The Real Housewives of New York with a brand new cast. And what I'm told is that Bravo are experimenting with this new cast and trying to make it, dare I say, a little bit more sophisticated. So they're not going to be throwing tables anymore at chairs. Good question. Advertisers like quite tame content. So they always have this dilemma where viewers want it to be so over the top that we have to watch each week, but you can't be so crazy that you turn off the advertisers. So what they're going for is a younger demographic. We're not going to see any people flipping tables. It's going to be a little bit maybe more sophisticated. You are nodding no?
Well, hold that thought. Diamond, how old are you?
27. 28. Oh, my God. I forgot.
Okay. So they're going for people younger than Diamond because Diamond loves table flipping.
They would love Diamond. And honestly, my experience with the Housewives is you might be the youngest fan I've met. Because it's sort of like an older demographic. The ladies on New York, they started in their 50s. They got fired in their 60s. People just don't act quite as outrageously as you or I, Elvis, and they're not flipping the tables. So I think if this works, it will have huge implications for the entire franchise, and we might see maybe a change that's gonna stick.
No.
Now, what do you think about that,
research is
Diamond?
off.
I believe I agree with you, Gandhi.
Yeah.
I don't believe that at all. But what do you think, Diamond?
I'm not happy about this. Roni Legacy is what I'll be watching, no matter what streaming platform it'll be on. I think the new girls are going to have to win me over, and I'm not, I'll be the little mean girl who's like, don't really want to watch, but I'll watch from a distance. Not really feeling it.
It's like a lot of new friends to meet at once. In the past, they've brought on one or two housewives per season as they rotate. Yeah. But they're starting from fresh. There is not one face you're going to recognize. And there's already trouble on the show. One of the 6 ladies has already quit.
Wow.
But following down that road of the concept of not recognizing faces, well, the old school was the same way because they all had their faces pulled up behind their backs. It's like, these are all new faces. Well, they are. It's the same ladies, all new faces. So true.
So true.
Nate looks so bored.
I'm not bored. I just don't watch the show. So I have no concept of what you guys are talking about.
Oh, I know, but it's about being excited for those who do watch the show.
Oh, stop.
I don't watch those shows. I'm excited for Diamond, though. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think Diamond, so maybe there's going to be a massive change there. I think this could work. I really do. The thing is with Housewives and the thing is with successful shows is that times change and shows have to change too. And I think that the real hardcore fans don't want to see any change.
I don't.
But they've got to progress. I mean, this show now has been on over a decade. So they're freshening it up. It's still going to be New York. It's still going to be glamorous, but younger ladies and less fighting.
We want the fighting.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
That's what we need.
Doesn't it do well still? So why would you mess with it?
The New York one fell apart. The numbers just fell apart. Last season that New York was on, people said they wanted all this drama, and I think they took it too far. I think there's a fine line, isn't there, between watching the show and enjoying seeing people behaving badly and then just supporting obnoxious people.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
Yeah, we needed a pause, but we didn't need a whole recast, you know? Put them on timeout for a little bit. Give them a little spanking.
Do you think they would have learned their lessons?
Oh, I think they learned their lessons because those checks aren't clearing the way that they were.
What's up, Scary?
I just want to know how the selection process goes. Do you have any behind the scenes on how they pit these people together? Because they do want friction at the end of the day.
They do want friction. So what they do is they sort of find their main person. They hire somebody, they cast somebody who's going to be the anchor of the show, and then they build out from that person. They say that they want them to be organically friends, and so I'm not quite sure that is totally accurate, but they don't want 5 strangers.
Right.
They want people that mix in the same circles, financially, socially, and so they found one lady and then built out around her to bring in other people, which is what they did. I think Jill Zarin was cast, and she brought in Bethany. Bethany, nobody had heard of, and Jill brought in Bethany. I think Ramona brought in Jill, so they sort of try to get one main character and pull in their friends. So that's what happened for this new season. But as I said, one of them has already quit. It's a rough. It seems so glamorous, doesn't it? But having those cameras following you around, and if you've got secrets, and we all do, if you don't want them exposed, don't go on reality TV.
I feel like you want your life ruined, go on a reality television show.
It's true. I agree. And you talk about, and it made me think, I'm sure other people in this room thought the same thing, shows always have to evolve. It makes me think, well, how is this one going to evolve? The one we're on right now.
We have to stop flipping tables, I guess. First.
No, we need to start flipping tables.
Yeah.
All right, what else is going on, Rob Shooter?
What else do we have dishing about? What other subjects do we want to talk about? Who else, Nate, have we got?
Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis. So Jason's trying to win back Olivia. Olivia and Harry Styles have broken up, and my insiders tell me that Jason would take her back in a minute. We're getting
don't
fist
do
bumps
it,
in
Jason.
a
Don't
minute.
do it.
And I don't know if she's going to want to go back with Jason. I think she wants to go back with Harry, is what I think.
That's Ted Lasso.
But
You're not putting him down.
Jason forgives. He's a good guy. He doesn't hold a grudge. I think people can make mistakes.
You got to believe, Ted. Believe.
Jason Sudeikis, if only he wore a pearl necklace. Hey, Nate, we were walking through Soho the other day. Who did we see?
Oh, Miranda Kerr.
Yeah, Miranda Kerr was walking around.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, I wouldn't know her if I hit her with a bus, but I was like, oh, I'm so impressed. We just walked by Miranda Kerr.
This one actually was real. I know a lot of times you see celebrities, but they're not really celebrities. But this one was real.
Did you see Richard Gere? I see him all the time. Did you see him?
No, I did not see Richard.
I see Ashton Kutcher everywhere. All right. You know, Rob is famous for many things, some we can't talk about here, but one of the things he's so famous for are his blind items.
Love this.
Yeah.
Now, talk about, set it up. What is a blind item? And then let's get into this week's blind item.
A blind item is when I give you all the details, all the naughty, juicy, delicious details about a piece of gossip attached to it, but there's enough clues in this item that you can figure this out. The item is, which primetime hunky news anchor is actually a secret nudist. It is not Wolf Blitzer. But
that was my first guess.
Well, I know who it is.
Who likes to be naked?
You know who it is.
Who?
Probably on ABC. Huh. Is it David Muir?
It is not David Muir.
Yes, it is.
It's not. I mean, I think we'd love to see David Muir at that anchor desk naked. But
I know who it is. E-News anchor is also a nudist. And when you say nudist, in what regard?
They like to walk around their house absolutely naked. They like to go to nudist beaches, I believe. They like to be without their clothes.
Well, I know it's not George Stephanopoulos. Because he's such. I know, you don't want to see that hairy beast at the beach.
Hunky.
Ernie Anastas.
Who's
I'm kidding, George. Anyway, all right, well, there you go. And by the way, you really should keep up with Rob on his podcast as much as possible. Talk about it.
Thank you. I love it. So iHeart gave me a daily show, 20 minutes every morning. We do all the celebrity dish exclusives, what's going on in the news, and you can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you for doing so. I think we're top 10 this week, and we just rattle on every morning for 20 minutes.
Nice, Rob.
Thank you.
It's not rattling. It's much more than rattling.
It's fun, and we're naughty, but we are nice. Like, we're not a mean show. So if you're out there and you like naughty gossip, but you're not a mean girl,
exactly,
you found your show.
You're not really flipping tables, but we love it. Okay, give Rob his Rob Shooter outro. Here we go. It's sung by Barry Manilow.
Thank you. You won't believe what I had to do to get him to do that.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.